Bioman is the 8th Super Sentai show, starting in 1984, and is credited as being a pretty innovative series for Sentai. In the years following its end, it would see similar success across the globe in France. France is known for having a fascinating attraction to Japanese media. Today, it's the second largest manga market in the world, only being beaten out by Japan. The choice was made to bring shows such as Bioman over to the French networks due to the success of anime in the country at the time. It was a win for Bandai as well, since they were given the opportunity to sell more toys to a new audience. The series was first broadcast on the cable channel Canal Plus on July 1st, 1985 on Saturdays at 12:30 PM, but would not make its mark until its run on TF1 during the Club Dorothy show on September 2nd, 1987. The series was a huge success, as it was something never seen before on French TV at the time. It was one of the most popular shows on the network, along with Transformers. The toys of course sold incredibly well, and even resulted in a shortage of toy stock similar to that of Goldorak in the 70s and Toy Story in the 90s. During its first broadcast on Canal Plus, Michel Baudil performed French opening and ending credits very close to the Japanese versions. And on TF1, Bernard Minet performed a completely original tune for the opening.
Moitié homme, moitié le plus valeureux des héros.
This song would go on to hit number 9 in the top 50 of May 1988 and would stay in the chart for the next 36 weeks. Bioman has since acquired cult status among the Club Dorothy generation. It did of course receive criticism for its violence, most notably from former MP Shigonene Royal, as did a lot of shows from Japan that aired in France at the time. Of course, with successful shows comes the need to want to continue said show, but also keep it fresh. How would this be done though? By importing more Sentai or slapping Bioman in front of them. The show would see 2 sequels, Bioman 2 Masked Man and Bioman 3 Live Man, creating what is known as a false trilogy. Masked Man and Live Man have no storyline connection with Bioman whatsoever. Bioman was added to the titles of the show so that French viewers could immediately know that they would be dealing with a Sentai type series. In Live Man episode 30, the episode known for introducing Black Bison and Green Sai, Dorothy, the host of the Club Dorothy program which aired these shows, made a cameo as Dr. Dorothy, who built the mecha for the new Rangers. Bioman at the time was hugely successful, but the fad came and went fairly quickly. Flashman, Turbo Ranger, Fiveman and Jetman also made it to France, but without the Bioman prefix. Sorry Changeman. These unfortunately did not have the same effect as Bioman. Flashman aired alongside Maskman, but toys were not released by Bandai in France to sell to the audience unlike the other shows. The shows after Live Man didn't air dubbed in their entirety. Behind the scenes problems resulted in episodes 30 and 31 of Turbo Ranger being cut from airing. Only 5 episodes of Fiveman made it to TF1, and Jetman was considered too violent by the TF1 crew, and the final episode did not air during its original run in 1993. The CSA, or the
Conseil supérieur de l'audiovisuel,
essentially the guys that control what goes on TV and what doesn't, even stepped in and ultimately resulted in shows such as this not being seen as much. It seemed for the time being the Bioman trend had passed, and there had been nothing like it to ever reach the same success it once reached. It's been stated that seeing Bioman's success in France gave Saban even more motivation to go ahead with attempting to adapt Sentai for the West. But how did PR do once it reached France? Well, it had about the same amount of success you'd expect. However, it also received a lot of backlash from those of the Bioman generation, as it essentially overshadowed the Sentai dubs and felt less realistic. People thought that Power Rangers was an American Bioman, which is ironic considering there is an American Bioman somewhere out there. If you were to show a French person a picture of a Sentai team, they're more likely to say Bioman or Masked Man or Live Man before even thinking about Power Rangers. As with all successful shows, the show saw parodies and remixes of the opening theme song. Comedy trio Les Inconnus produced this Bioman parody sketch in 1990.
Marron derrière.
The Amazing World of Gumball even had a Sentai reference with its Bro Squad, which heavily pulled inspiration from Bioman, which makes sense when you consider that Ben Bocquelet, the creator of the show, is French himself. And of course, you can't forget about France 5. The Sentai genre as a whole was already pretty familiar to France when Power Rangers became as big as it did when it hit in 1994, and that's thanks to the mark Bioman left in French culture.